The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I made it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm only facing it all. Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still. Hanging in the balance, not the life I want to live. I want to take it all, standing tall. Fear I weighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I made it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm only facing it all. Stranded in the open, dried out tears of sorrow, lacking all emotion to a new tomorrow.
paquera. Elas descem de bolão, só de sensualizar. E se apanhem de paquera, elas todas vêm sentando, todas vêm sentando.
So, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? That's good. Today we are killing it with the Stanley Parable. The Ultra Deluxe. What? All I know is I watched the gameplay of the original long ago. Don't remember when, like 3-4 years ago. I remember seeing a gameplay of the original Stanley Parable. This is the remastered version of the Stanley Parable, where it includes the original content as well as some newer stuff that I've yet to see anything of. So I kind of know what I am doing. Well, all I'll say is the narrator is cocky as hell and I love it. We love the narrator. That's all I'm saying. So yeah. And it was going cheap on Steam, so here we are. I thought I'd pull it up on stream because why not? Yeah. I need to minimize those things to kill that. Alright. Yeah. Alright. Oh, I don't have audio because I muted that. Trust me, this is gonna be funny. So I'm not gonna be talking as much because there is a lot of like the narrator that talks, so I won't be talking over him. So a lot of the time I'm gonna be a lot quieter than the narrator. That's how I expect it to be, because the narrator and the game is the focus today, not my voice, not any like weird callouts like I do for Valorant and stuff. This ain't a normal stream. This is a very much focus the game stream. So I am gonna miss chat a lot. Apologies in advance. So let's go.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple.
Let me know how volume level is, by the way. Like the game should be nice
and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright, I'll be back. Yeah. people on the TikToks. Don't forget to like and share. We're currently playing the Stanley Parable. We don't get to use this interface, unfortunately. That's only in the original. I feel like zoom. Ah, I'm sorry, just going through this menu. This menu is just satisfying to the ear. I'm not gonna even lie. What is this? That's good. I'll put VSync on. Normally I don't do that. Hey. Oh well. Doesn't feel so weird now.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I hate Mondays. Yes, we all do. We all.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Oh, wait, what? What just happened? Thing just went down. Why did that just die? Oh, um, hmm. Didn't know that was a thing. Okay. Hold on, chat. Before we get any further, apparently TikTok doesn't like using Streamlabs. They don't like me. Let me just pull that up again. One moment. We'll be right back. Just pulling up Studio. Push out the TikTok stream again because that died on me. I don't even remember what because I've been using Streamlabs for so long. I don't remember what's gonna happen using Studio again. Please say it's up to date and stuff. Hey, at least it's at the beginning. We ain't missing much. You know? That's all I'll say. Okay, yeah, there's a download. We love downloads. No. Okay, no. We're not gonna do it. We'll get it. Let me just push out a thing that says that we're on Twitch instead. That would be better. Copy link. Okay. That's annoying. I said TikTok is a lot more complicated than it used to be. I'm not even joking about that. Like, I swear, if stuff used to be so much more simpler to just hit stream and go, especially for me. And now there's so many limitations getting hit with. It's like annoying. Do I even bother keeping it? uh, I love when things go slow as well. Slow stuff is always the best, that's all I'll say. That. And take that. Yeah, okay, forget it. That's fine, you know. And this door's open. Okay, there's no spare key.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Hmm. Hmm. What if I don't? You know what, I'll go through the original. We'll see what happens. We'll follow him. We shall follow our narrator.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh, that's another good. Using slides to ensure employees that everything is okay. Okay. Everyone is unique. You, most of all, are. That agree. How fancy of them. Number of slides on the slides. Slides, charts, and wow. What do people want? Things, money, more money, things but with money to buy, more things. Graphs about things plus money. The stock market is something. Please no. Okay. Okay. It seems like it's killing itself. What the? Oh, do I have supper? I have. Not that one. Turn on the thing. That one.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I must be able to. I must be.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
It's not an empty broom closet. There's a broom in here.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
There must be an ending in this if I just stay in this, right?
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
I'm
I
clicking
never would
everything.
have thought to mention it.
I don't care. Okay, but I don't think there is actually anything to click. Oh. Oh, you can actually stop the door. That is cool. Oh, that's actually so cool.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
What if I didn't? What if I went down? What's downstairs? There's bread downstairs. I don't like bread. Let's go up. Up we go. Oh, there's more. Oh. Hello? Anybody home? This way? Oh. I've got a feeling money is for stealing, but not yours, of course. Extreme bathrooms. No zooming. Okay. Can I? Oh. What's that? Oh, this. Okay. Mike Wazowski. Yeah. Nothing. Alright, fine. Fine, I'll go in.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Wait, what?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Wait, what? 2 something?
2845. Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Okay. Oh, I can still click stuff. 2, 8. Dang it! I wanted to press 4. Fine. Oh. I think this boss says it's like a door. Oi. On we go. This way? No. jump. On we go. Whee! Oh. The floor there. There was a floor there. I didn't even know there wasn't. Like, what?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
What if I just press the button again?
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
What if I wanted to go back to the boss's office? Go back down. Oh, can I? Can I not? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did I mess up?
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Ah, yes. Best story ever. Amazing story. Good story.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
I love this narrator. I'm not gonna lie.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he? Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me. Oh my God, it's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this.
No. I don't think I've seen that before. Please hold.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process.
Oh. I'm loving it. I love it. I love that.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made
you?
space in my
Have you
worldview
actually?
for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Yes. Gripping, definitely. I'm the best storyteller ever. Better than our
Of
narrator
course.
friend here.
Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate
Yep.
it? I mean, sure, now it's
Go down
obvious,
and
but you have to understand that
people
30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nope. 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 Aw. No narrator, man.
You know what?
Oh.
I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this
Yes.
elevator ride nice and slow?
Oh God.
There we go. Isn't this
God.
so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
Oh. 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 Listen, when I say I genuinely have not seen much, I mean it. I'm not joking. This is what I've seen. Huh.
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
Okay, can't go to that. Is that what I look like? If I swear, if that's what I look like, I am weird. Extra weird. Hello, Zen. I sees you. Welcome to the Stanley Parable. It's the Ultra Deluxe. It was on sale. It was on sale. It got extra
Ah,
content.
yes, here it is, just through this door.
What if I want to go through this door? I want to go through this door. Stage 4. Fine. You know what? I like to be front instead. Oh.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit
okay.
about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
The Napa? Excuse me? Oh, I absolutely... Yeah, I watched like 5 minutes of this game like forever ago, and I was like, I don't want to get spoiled about it. Like, I don't want to know anything about it. I'm like, I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. And now I got it, and now I'm gonna see what it is. It's the deluxe version, which is the original content of everything. Wait, no, I said that backwards. It's the content of the original game, plus some new stuff. No clue what the new stuff is yet. I don't even know if I'm still on the original. Yeah. Okay. Excuse me? Huh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I love how you can put computers off, but you can't turn them back on. Be my Valentine. So sweet. So cute. Oh, what does it say? Someone's surname is Access? That's wild. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's crazy. Who's out there being called Access? Mr. Access, where are you? Fun. Awaiting input. Who? Oh. Oh. I push. What? No, keep pressing thing. Okay, I will get this. Okay, no, I'm not getting that. Patrol, wild, patrol.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh, yeah, I already checked that room. Wait, what's this? I don't know what that says. Whoa. Huh. No. Damn, that's depressing, this room. This room is depression on a different level.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Let's see. One eye something.
Yes, really
Yeah,
worth
this is
it
my
being here in the
Valentine's
room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Coffee nut. This cup and this cup. I need them in real
At
life.
this point, Stanley's put at last he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
I've learned one thing. You don't go to the creepy rooms. That's a room that's creepy.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
If you are lying right now, stop. Oh. Wait, what? When was I? Oh, what am I doing? Oh. If I was fired years ago, why am I here? What am I still doing here? Do not jump from the cargo while lift is in motion. Will cause death. Penalty for misuse of. Damn. So, I'm just kidding.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Wait, what? Who's her? Her? Who is her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Yeah. Okay, that's an empty. I don't like that. But I'm.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Where did it get so suspicious? What? Oh. Flashbang!
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you?
Oh.
I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
No.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Huh? Excuse me? What if I used to this? Can I? Let me out. Let me out. Let me out of everywhere. No. No. Who are you?
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Excuse me?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
No problems there. And I don't think the loud button works.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
No, let me out. F. Ow. No, I'll press every other button but T. Let's see what happens. Every other button but T. Okay, it doesn't take any other button but T.
But in
Fine.
his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Press R. R.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always
I
has.
see
Nothing
what's
has
gonna
changed.
happen.
The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
I see what's happening.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
I'm gonna push the button. See to question nothing.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Excuse me? Yeah? Not creepy at all. That's all I know.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
I'm clicking. I'm clicking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I think that was 20. I'll do 21. Is it a specific door? Maybe this one.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Okay. I don't know what number we're at. I'm just gonna keep stabbing the clicks.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417? 430, 439. Wait, what? This 417? What? About 20. 417? Ah. Wait, how many clicks did he say? I don't know.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
It's 437. It's 437 back, yeah? I'm doing this. I am committed. 437.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Okay. I'm committed. Committed. What did he say? 415?
Now, back to door number 437.
Okay, that's all the way up. That's here. That's here. I know where that is. This one. Yeah.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
Let's go. What? What's the copy machine? Is this it? Yes.
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
That's this one out here in the hallway, right? Yeah.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
419 This 419. 433. Oh no, I think it's this way. It might be this way. Hold on. Hold on. We're getting somewhere. We're in it for achievements, chat. 4 something. Where? 4. Nope, that's not it. 418. Wait. Is this it? No. 419. 423. 424. 431, 436, 435, 434, 33, 31. Was it this one? No. This one. No. Oh, how get up? I just got the achievement. You can't jump. No, seriously. We disabled it. Okay. I don't think there's a 410 or 4. Yeah, was it 410? I think it was 410.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Zoe?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
Finally.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
fine.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Big red button. I push big red button. No one in their right mind can ignore big red button. That's all I'm saying.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Huh. Now who's...
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Is it gonna be the doors that we just came through?
No, let's see.
I'm just gonna stand it. I'm gonna stand.
Right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
What? Oh. It's not gonna shut down on me, is it? It's gonna shut down on me. I have a feeling. Is it gonna shut down on me? Psych? No, okay. Okay. I guess it isn't. Oh, I've seen the
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
No.
Okay. We just have to get back
Close your eyes.
to
Spoilers.
Who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Make it drop. I'm gonna finish that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, that just does not open anymore. Is there an achievement for turning off things? Like, geez, we gotta save power, yeah? I know we're a business, but still, that costs money. Money we can be saving. Oh.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
Nothing.
Did you
There's
move the
monitors
story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I
did
asking
nothing.
you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It
Exactly.
was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure
This
that
is
it's here
your fault.
somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Itty bitty bitty bow, catch a fella by the toe. If he cries, let him go. Itty bitty miny bow. This one. Off we go. This way? Oh. We're gonna do the follow the left wall thing. You know, like how in mazes, if you follow the left wall, you'll just end up at the end that you need to be. Kind of want to go in there. Nope, it's not the left wall.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Oh, okay.
All of his co-workers were gone.
can't click doors
What could
now.
it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What's that? Is it AC? Oh, I think it's AC. I can't click doors. That's sad. They removed my ability to click doors. I want to click doors. I'm still turning everything off. There has to be an achievement. No way they'll just make it possible to click the thing. Oh, I can click doors. What? I can click some doors?
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Open. There you go. Maybe we go into here. There's a door here. We can go through there. There's also this door. Let me go through there. Hello. Let me go through here. This clearly leads into that. I don't know where that goes. What about this? No? There's a door there. Can we go in there? There's another door there. Can I go in there? Let me go in there. How about here? Oh yeah. There's more door there. Door open there.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Oh.
No, wait.
Oh.
Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Huh. You know that feeling of feeling like you're getting trolled? I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
A lot of thinking that was. A lot of decisions.
Oh, no,
Wait.
I don't feel right about this at
Oh, yeah.
all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by
it was
whatever this
fair and
place
square.
is. I don't care what might happen this time.
win.
I have to restart.
No, that's fine. But I want my win.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
I mean, bright yellow. What if I just do this? Any other computer on? No, okay, what's that? Oh, that's on. That's fine.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
What? Oh, what? Wait, wait a minute. Line. What if I go back? What would he say if I go back? Nothing. Okay. Oh. Solver's picked up. What is this? Like solitaire? Is that the name of it? Yeah. I think 3 can go into this 4. I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's an 8. I thought that was a 9. That's also an 8. This 7 can go to that 9, to the black 9, the red 7. I think that's a 7. I know how to play games. I'm a gamer. Doors. More doors. We love doors.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
Oh, it's just loops.
You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Adventure music.
Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Eh? Surely. Surely that's enough screenshots. Is that all? Okay. Back on the line. Can I get my music back? Mr. Narrator, dude, can I get my music?
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No, no. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Okay, we'll go down, yeah.
Still missing the doors. Did we make a mistake following the line? Perhaps we could have found the story on our own.
Yes. Could have. We definitely could have found the story on our own. No computer. Door. Another door. Wait, there was doors back here. I never click on doors. Door. Door. No door. Okay. Door not open. No way. I did click this one, right? Yeah. Oh.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted
I
you,
wonder.
after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
104 is dead. Not fired.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
What? I heard a door. You open the door. You open the door.
Now, yes, this
Yes.
is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
I've played the Backrooms once on a friend's PC.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley,
TM.
I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
This is feeling very much like the Backrooms. I'm scared now. How am I supposed to ignore the line when the line is lining through the line? Okay, he's gone now. The line is gone. Nope, doors.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And
Good, my
since the
tracking-
answer
my
is
tracking
clearly
is terrible.
yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Just keep doing this. Can I just keep doing this? Fine.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing.
No, Stanley, don't die.
Wall. Well,
I don't wanna
who
die.
consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really?
Find the confusion
No,
ending.
it can't be. I don't want it to be.
Wait,
I
yeah?
don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will
out.
someone come for us?
Let me
Will
out.
something happen? So,
Let me out.
okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey.
I see
though they're
Sandy
always saying
dies.
that life is about
me
the
out.
journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
What the what? Oh no. Oh no no no. What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
More doors? Doors. puta. Wait, let's go.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Psych. Fine.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh, room closet.
Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
We try. We try. We throw it back. We throw it back in this room. This is the dance room. I mean, we have a pole. Yes. I mean, we got some duct tape. We have duct tape. We got some wires. Things could happen. Things could very much happen. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rolls of duct tape. Yes, duct tape. All we need is duct tape. I want the duct tape. I need duct tape. Fine. Psych! Back in the go. Fine. You don't want to say nothing. No.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Psych. Oh.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking
I know I'm
mysteriously
crazy.
out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So,
car's
he
clearly
imagined himself flying
the lights
and
are
began
on.
to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was
crazy.
describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and
I'm
wondered
just
if this
nuts,
voice spoke to
apparently.
all people in their dreams,
Clearly just
the truth
nuts.
was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
No, I'm dreaming.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want.
Go back to my job.
I want my apartment, and my wife, and my
I
job.
want me wife.
All I want is my life
want me husband.
exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
I am not normal.
I
My life is
am
not normal.
okay.
I am something. Oh.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
What?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Excuse me?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be
I know.
normal. I am sane.
know I'm
I
crazy.
am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Oh, am I Mariella now? Or Mariella? I don't know how you say. Wait, this door has a number. This door never had a number before.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, we're back at it. We click all the doors, we put the computer off. Surely.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Wait a minute. This is different. This is different. I don't remember going going through blue room.
When
before
Stanley
getting
came
here.
to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Psych. Psych. Psych.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
Yes.
just to admire it.
That employee lounge is amazing. Am I going here? I want to go in here. Look at
The
big
lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply, and but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Oh, okay, I can't go backwards.
Yet there was not a single person here
Except for not
either.
getting fired. Talk
Feeling a
less.
wave
Don't
of
review
disbelief,
over
Stanley
amazing
decided to
work
go
all
up
the
to his
time,
boss's
every day,
office,
but no
hoping he might
expectation.
find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Yes, we have to let it ball up inside you, and then we take it out on others progressively, passively. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. This is how we have to do it. Everyone is unique. You're not unique. I'm unique. That I just thought I would throw up there and let everyone else here in the boardroom know that. The number of these slides on this is well, as you can see, in blue there's slides, and then in green there's charts, and then in orange there's charts and slides. Rate at which chapters charts are on the same slide. Yeah. Rate of increases increase. Oh, okay. I kind of got tired. It was like midnight. Oh, don't forget, we gotta appreciate the boss as well. Yep. Amazing boss we have, Mr. Boss Man. Yes. This one is all up to you. Bye. How dare he lock me out of my broom closet? Rude. Fine.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Bathroom. No. To be rich is a crime. To commit crimes isn't it rich? Oh, okay. What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Let's go commit some crimes, I guess. Oh, oh, they open. Okay, we go here.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
This way. Down we go, boy.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Excuse me?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yes. No one. I fear nothing. Maybe that I fear. Nope. Let's not go down there. Let's go back. Back we go. That's a no-no.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Oh. Oh.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Wait.
What horrible secret did this place hold?
I was
Stanley
here!
thought to himself. Did he
I
have
was
the
up there,
strength
wasn't I?
to find out?
Pretty sure I was up there. What if I do this again? No? Okay. I'm pretty sure I was up there.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Is that me? 234? Am I 234? The one that's can't be seen? Okay, that me? But we got fired. Any other? That one's fired. That must be me, right? I mean, that looked like my office, but so do like a few others. Ooh, what's this?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Excuse me. Where did you come from?
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Where am I? I was saying.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he
Oh my
would
God,
dismantle
Adam.
the controls once and for all.
Okay, I'm clicking fast enough. Oh, McDonald's had a phone. Okay, never mind. What was I meant to do? Pretty sure he said I must do something. Alright. What's up here? Okay. Oh. Oh. Console stuff.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he
And that
knew it was his
place.
duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Did I press the wrong button? I feel like I pressed the wrong button.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
That's a screensaver if I've ever seen one. Do one with the boss? Without the boss? I don't wanna. What if I don't wanna leave?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Now I think that's the original ending. I feel like there's more. There was another ending I was close to, but I don't know. Excuse me? I just said beat the game.
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
I have a wife? she said I must get? She asked me to get things. I don't remember what it was. Immediately forgot. I just know bread, and that was it.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
Okay. New content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
I don't even know if I did the other content. Like, did I do the old ones? Like, did I finish the original? I guess we're gonna find out. Goodbye. Very Disney theme.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Why is it not moving? Why no moving?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Okay.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if the... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Oh, I'm facing backwards. What's this?
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
You can jump. You can jump. So wait, is jumping gonna actually be useful in this in the new content? Okay, bye.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Aw. 21 jumps. 21 Jump Street? Reference? Question mark?
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Huh. Oh.
That's
Wow.
it? No, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Sure. Hello, manch. Hello, you. Well, that reminds me. I probably let me do that, and then what does that do? So this is the Stanley Parable, the Ultra Deluxe. Basically, this narrator questions your life choices, and this is the Ultra Deluxe, the original.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
What if I want to go up there? I'm still clicking all the doors. Let's see.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
You just call me a dork! Fine, I'll come and see your surprise.
Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
I'll probably just go back out. Nah, don't you dare. Okay, fine, I'll go this way. He said I was in the door, so I'm gonna go back this way. So yeah, Mr. Narrator dude does stuff like that. Can I? Oh, I can't stand up there. Oh. Whee!
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Elden Ring? God of War? Oh. Wait.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can
Basically,
relive
the
the
game
peak
never ends.
experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Essentially, the game never ends. I mean, there is an ending, which is get everything done that you can in the game. But
You see, Stanley,
There is
doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then,
So
it
say
all
so.
meant something. Oh, the waste.
the Stanley Parable. That's the original. Wait. How did they get the time wrong? So, for contents here, I put the time in at the start of the game. To why it is 2013 right now, I don't know. Somehow they got the time wrong as well. Like, you actively put in the time. What is this? The British Academy of Film and Television Arts Award awarded to Stanley Parable something behind that. Oh, The Last of Us. The award was originally to The Last of Us in the category of story. What is this award? 2014 Independent Game Festival Audience Award to the Stanley Parable. The Stanley Parable Collector's Edition. The original remake. The Stanley Parable. Good times. Wait. Let's begin again. Oh wow. A trip down memory lane. Smile because it happened. My first dollar. Can I? Oh, I can't click that. Okay. Unachievable. It's impossible to get this achievement. What? Go outside. Don't play for pie. Wow. You ignore the game for 5 years. That's what they say. British Academy. Snort. New video game releasing today. The New York Times. LA Times. Let's see. Can I sit on this? No. Alright.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing.
I don't know what this
It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
It's on ya. More photos. Why? I love 2013 vibes for the Minecraft Dirt House. Nice. They understand quality. What is this? Wait. What is this? Oh, this is a dev picture. It's them creating the game, I think. Person of the year. The on-off buttons. The original remake. The end is never the end. Never the end is never the end.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Move up here to create levels, graphics. Why is that all? Can I? What? The Serious Room, 2013. No one's ever serious in this game.
These were simpler times, Stanley.
What is this?
But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, the God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
My game filters are on. 1 second. I got something on. Why is it so red? I just now noticed this. Is this this? Filters, edit filter. My bad. My bad. There we go. Now it looks exactly like what I see. I didn't realize how red it was until I now opened up my stream on my device. Now you see what I see, like color-wise and everything. Where exactly am I going? I'm just currently walking right now. Hey, calm down. I'm walking here. So, have to fix it up.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
I like it. Wait, anyway. This way? Yes.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening.
Okay.
I wish there was a skip button.
This one, yes.
A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Yeah. Ladder.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning... Oh, you're back you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through.
Nope.
I've had...
Press button. I don't need no feelings. Hello? Mr. Narrator Man? Or I press button. Excuse me. Okay. Alright, I press button.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others.
Narrator
But of
man
course,
is crashing
absolutely
out.
anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh,
We press button. Hello? There's no voice. Why am I saying hello?
the end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. I swear, that's probably a bop out there already. There's probably a track like that. Bop. Wait, oh. Oh. Oh, jeez. Uh-oh. What if I just skip ahead and that... Oh. Oh, hey! At least it's sunny. Mr. Narrator dude? Where are you? Pop. Okay, nice and earthy. I see what you've done with the place. Nice and green. A little dirt. What is this, like ivy? Poisonous, some ivy? I actually don't know my plants. I'm just guessing, yeah. They look like ivy. They also look like the same type of leaf that you would see in fall, coming off like giant trees. You the type that like turn like orange and red that just fall off a tree, like cartoons and anime and stuff. Yeah. This tree got nuts in it. Is this a coffee tree? I don't know. The end is never the end is never the end. What's on the console? Why is it not? Nope. Next. I actually got shivers. Nope. That actually gave me shivers. Oh god. Oh god. Uh-oh. Oh. I can't push the button no more. We broke game. Game broke. Game broke. Can I not get up yet? Oh. Game broke. Away. The end is never the end is never the end is never the end.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Oh, it did a thing. Okay, okay. Every time we restart, we gotta press a button. Ooh, what's this? New content. Okay. Giant glowy sign. New content.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
The end is never the end is never the end is never the end. new content, huh? Oh. I'm pretty sure you just skipped the entire ride.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Wait, what?
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
I love how there's a Mac on this desk, but they don't have license for it, so they just got a square book. So it's not a Mac, it's a book. It's just a book. Oh, cat.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Oh. Not the MacBooks. The Squawk books. The Squawkers. As I say, don't talk to me before I've had... Wait, what? Before I've had my sequel. New content is out. New content part 2 is in. Old plus busted. Oh, okay. New hotness. Okay. Boring sections of this chart. Cool red section of this chart. That's cool. It's red. The Stanley Parable 2. More TSP, better TSP. Win, excuse me, win minus win is win. Sequential mind share. Okay.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
This way to the show floor. Look at me and the red carpet. New features. Hello, welcome. Yes, welcome to new game. The Stanley Parable 2. Yeah. We have no feature. Okay. Don't know what the point of that was. Elevator. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
The button that says the name of the other player that is playing the game. That's new. Where is it inside?
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim,
My name Jim.
falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as
yes, I
Jim,
am Jim.
watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so,
I
then
am Jim.
please step forward and press the button.
I am Jim.
Yes, you
it's just
see,
me.
what a thrill, what
It's
a
in my
rush, that was
name.
you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Again.
Oh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the
I am
only
Jim.
new
I am
feature in
Jim.
the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm
No.
putting the Jim button
We
away.
never have too much Jim.
Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
No, my Jim button. I am Jim. I need to be Jim. How will I know who I am without Jim? Oh, fine. Out I go. What is this? See, guys? Size does matter. Ah, yes. Size matters a lot.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable too. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Bucket? Reassurance bucket? Bucket?
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and
Yes,
your heart.
bucket, give me bucket.
As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even
bucket.
comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Bucket.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
He called me good looking. Yeah, me. Not you.
Does anyone
me.
give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game?
Yes.
That really should be an award. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Oh, how did I miss this? That one.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Step niece? Excuse me? If I don't want.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Jumps.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
How rude. Give me more jumps. I want more jumps. Where am I? Map. Find the map. Find the map. Find the map. Free achievement? Oh. Fine. Ooh, collectibles. Yeah, free achievement. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement and more. Wait, what? No more steps.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever and... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you. and I promise it will happen.
No. Give me achievement. You said free achievement. Yes. God damn it. Silly bastard. Yeah, bloody you.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Is this? Collect them all.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Hey! Neato!
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
What's on here? Me and a bucket just on our mission. Gonna find all those goddamn thingies. I forgot what they called. Am I just at the start again? I'm just at the start again. Okay, what's on here? Gym button. Oh. How I get up? Up here? No. How do I get up? Yeah? Me and a bucket just on a mission. Bucket, 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 bucket.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Bucket, 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 bucket. Ooh.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go, version 2.
I want to pull a lever though.
Who am I
I
kidding,
want my
Stanley?
achievement. Wait,
This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of
Give me that.
gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right. Perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Bucket, 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 bucket. Oh. Oh, damn. Now, I did see a little achievement there. Okay, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. Set all the setting sliders to all available numbers is wild. Don't play the Stanley Bill. 10 years is insane. Begin. The new Stanley Parable 2. Yes, that is what we are playing today.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number
It's the
427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. Stanley picked up the bucket. Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office, because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
We got our emotional buckets.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than
Except for
ever.
not getting fired.
Perhaps his boss's office
Talk
was
less.
where he'd
All you
find
gotta do
answers.
is just shut up.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can
No.
feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as
My
clear
bucket.
as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is
No.
trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be. given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion, and lifelong.
Yes,
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the
bucket.
bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
My emotional support bucket.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You
There is
can't
a
buy
reward.
that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
While I'm taking it in, I got the feeling money's for stealing. But not yours, of course. Say, that's a lovely purse. Nope. My bucket.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have
I saw
any
the-
notion
I know
that the
the
pin
keypad on
number
there.
for the
I mean, yeah.
keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Yes. Bucket.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes,
No.
I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under
I
your
like
belt.
mini stands. I like the Stanlerines. Stanlerina.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate.
Really?
It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
I thought it would
Wait,
get out at the
Stanley
elevator.
said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again.
Wait, what?
The bucket said nothing.
Number 3 to press? Where was that? Wait, was it? Did he say the keypad? I'm pretty sure he said the keypad. I think it was the keypad. Go press number 3. Where was number 3?
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Alright.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly. A hint of regret nagged in the back of Stanley's mind. Should he demonstrate the number 3 for the bucket? Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
No.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
I don't believe ya.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Nah, we'll be fine. Down we go. See? We're fine. Perfectly fine.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket. But what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death. It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold. Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life? No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket. But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements. If only we let Stanley die together, the bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
just hit begin the game again. What if what if? That means Bucket no longer dies, right? I hit escape instead of enter. Don't ask how, but it happened.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
What do you mean? Is it Stanley's office? Yes, it is. Narrator dude, where have you been? Bucket.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Bucketificator. R.I.P. coffee.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
We're going this way.
And this was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Surely one of those.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was.
Who farted?
How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Yes.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Bottom text. More floating objects that appear across the office. We have the senator, blah 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 blah. More blah blah blahs.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet.
No.
It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of gel. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Figures. I kind of like figures. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, you crash? No. Okay.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And
Now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Oh. I wasn't expecting that.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
But I want the bucket. Aww. What just happened? Welcome, Stan. Oh, did I die? This is heaven. Button. How are they coming on? What's the point then? Okay, what am I missing? What's going on? Okay, that's pretty cool. Nice. I assume I just gotta do this. Because I don't see a way out. I think there is a way out. I think there's a way out. Is it one of the buttons? Is it a button that I have I don't know.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
We need those. I need those.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Got a feeling. Door's open. Can I do? Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Catch a fella by the toe. If he cries, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. Can't see it right now, but I'm checking out the side. Did that really just do nothing? Down? That actually does nothing. Oh. Oh yeah, that was a waste of time. Oh, waste of time.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Never the end.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall. Now, what to do next? Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps. After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was unconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
So was that an ending? I'm not kicking you.
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office, because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
there was white buttons in the mind control room that was like numbered 1, 2, and 5. I'm not sure where 3 and 4 are. Hope there's any more than 5, so I kind of want to go and get that going.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
I want to know what those white buttons do. The 1, 2, and 5.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Okay, like, what number are we? 427? What number are we? I think this one? I think it's that one.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
I mean, honestly, that holds even for real life.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Hold on. 1, 2. I think 4 was up there. Is that 4? So I see another white button there. Let's start out these days. Can I get up there? I can't get up there. Am I stupid? What's going on?
When at last they came to the... But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place.
flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
No. So wait, how do I turn them?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
But I'm tired now. I'm sure I could probably get through some of the other things. Door for 30? 5 times? Oh, wait, hold on.
Stanley decided to go. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No, 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 no. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
I will get them. 430 times.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
430 clicks on 430. After this, and maybe I'll get the rest of the achievements later, possibly kind of thing. Probably, I don't know. The magical achievement has been that one missing a place that I'm not taken to get one get a good ending. Like I think I haven't selected something just yet to get a different ending. I guess. Not sure what the ending is. Or what place that is. Pretty sure I got all the places though. I know this standard reading though having something. Not into the door to the right thing. I'm doing this. I'm doing it. I'm gonna do this. I'm doing this. I don't care. This will be done before I end the stream. 430 clicks. I don't know how far I am. Steam doesn't tell me. Oh, it does. It's almost there. We almost at 50%. That means we're like 215. Once we hit 50%, we get 215. We will get it. 444%. $44.5. I don't know if that's moving. I'm questioning my sanity now. I don't think that's moving. Huh. Yeah, I think that's working. Okay, yeah, I'm done. I'm tired. So, I shall say goodbye. I'm too tired. me tired now. Okay, bye.
I've been treading water for some time, picking up the parts of.
You know what? I changed my mind.
How hard to break apart. Don't tell me why we can't collide nowhere. I'll follow you to carry on.
Oop. Okay. Yeah. We're going back to that. Because we get another unlock again for joining back. Why is my BRP text back? Oh, there we go. For some reason, did I have that on the entire time? Crows. Hang on. Before we just get started, I just have to say something. Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you booted up in the game. Oh. A lot of people don't take that step seriously. They just leave the clock set at 12 and call it a day. Or actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. That's how I know that you care about this experience you're playing. Alright. I don't even have any way of knowing if the time you're sitting are correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been cooperative, let's actually lower this. Since you've been cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see the screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whichever time you want, even if it's not correct time, you earned it. Alright, I'll let you back in the video game now. love how it just boots back up into the Stanley Parable too.
This is the story of...
Hey, welcome back. Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No.
Nope.
I can't just give these
430
merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say
Nope,
that's the
I tabbed.
kind of effort that
I
warrants
alt-tabbed by
recognition.
accident. How far is this? Does this move? Why does it say you can't jump? Alright. I'm not sure why the percentages are the percentages and not just completed. I'm confused. Okay, it's confusing. Okay. Seriously now? Now goodbye.